Okay, in this video, I'm going to kind of go into the fine points of putting in entourage like trees, cars, people from the Google 3D warehouse. Or it's not Google, it's Trimble 3D warehouse. So first thing I want to talk about is we can put stuff in from the 3D warehouse that will literally crash our computer. And it's not just SketchUp free, it'll crash. Crash SketchUp free first. But if you put too much stuff in, it'll eventually even crash our big gaming computers that we've got in the classroom. So trees are a good example. But before we get into that, so there's entourage you can get from the 3D warehouse that's actually built in 3D. Then there's other things you can get that are called 2D face me items. And so my preschool teachers here are 2D face me people. And the reason, and they all, wherever my camera goes, they turn to face me. So I'm not seeing behind my teacher here. She's always turning to face me. And the other way you can tell if they're 2D face me is if you go up into plan view, they're not going to lay down on the ground and face you. They only face you when you're down there. So you can see, you can actually, she's just a plane that she turns to face wherever my camera is. So then with trees, we can get 2D face me trees. And we can also get 3D trees. Now, the 3D trees are going to be way more complicated and have slow your computer down. Now, this is kind of a hybrid tree that I put in here. It's a 3D tree, but instead of every individual leaf being modeled in 3D, it takes a JPEG image of a multiple leaves and pastes a bunch of those all over this tree. So you can see those leaves are just planes. So instead of having 100 polygons with these 3D leaves here, we just have one polygon, which is a JPEG image that they put in. So this is a way to get kind of a hybrid between a 2D thing and a 3D thing, or a thing with a lot of polygons and a thing without a lot of polygons. So let's go into 3D warehouse here. Now, this thing when it first comes in might be too small, so you can make it bigger or smaller. So I'm going to try to find a 2D face me tree, so I already typed that into the search bar. So you can see some people made 2D face me trees that are really small polygon count and pretty small file size. Some people like got a super high res image and they have a 2D face me tree that's 3.3 megabytes and this one's only 518. So if you put a bunch of these in, it's going to just make your file huge and slow down your computer. So you got to keep an eye on the file size and the number of polygons. So here's a 2D face me tree that looks pretty good. It's only 822 kilobytes with 5 polygons. So let's go ahead and now if you want to look at these things, what you don't want to do is download a lot of stuff into your SketchUp model to look at it and then decide that you don't like it, because even if you don't like it and get rid of it, it stays in your SketchUp model until you purge it. And so it's going to be in there slowing down your file until you go through and purge it. That's why it's always asking you if you want to purge when you're saving. So if you click on this 3D preview here, you can preview what it's going to look like in 3D before you drop it into your model. So this is a face me tree, so it's not going to be super spectacular when I look at it. It's just going to take this image and turn it to face me. So I got to click on this button here, and now it goes in and does a little like 3D viewer. And so now I can hold my left mouse button down and you can see this case, it doesn't turn to face you, but it's showing that it's, the shadow looks pretty good. The tree itself looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one. And now I can scale this up or down so you can see it's smaller. But like when I'm down on the ground, it doesn't look half bad. It might actually look better than this one here because it's always facing me. So now let's drop in a 3D tree. The full bolt 3D tree. So let's go back to 3D warehouse. So let's find one with like a gajillion polygons and a huge file size. So let's look at that one. Now, this is the sort of tree, you put a bunch of them in here. If I need D, they're gonna slow down your model, might even crash your computer. It'll be so slow, you'll just, look at this one. Doesn't even look any better, but it's 7.9 megabytes and it's 36,000. So anyway, I'm gonna load this in even though I know it's probably too big. So let's download this one. So this one's like, what? I don't know, hundreds of times bigger a file size and a number of polygons than the 2D tree I have. Because look at that. Every one of those leaves is modeled individually. They're all casting shadows. They've all got to be calculated in 3D. So you can see there's the middle one is the least file size. The right one's my hybrid one, and this is a full-blown 3D tree. Now I'm going to delete that one because I don't want to slow down my model. But it's still in there in components, and it's going to show up in my unused components. So in order to avoid saving that and slowing down my file, I can just purge this manually right now.